Dog Days Season 2 has ended, and I'm here to review it. Any objections? Good. Because, my god, the story doesn't go anywhere, and comes across as being more like filler than an actual continuation. The characters are just as bland as they were, with some development here and there, but really it's minimal at best, and with the exception of one or two, all the new characters they introduce aren't any better. Okay, let's go towards the story first. What story? Senkyu goes back to Flan Yard. Oh wait, this time he brings his friend along, Rebecca Anderson. Oh, okay. Anonymous is introduced into the story as a sort of rival to Senkyu, though at the same time not quite. Oh look, the old characters are back. Oh look, new characters. Oh, whoa, there's a third faction? And whoa, look, action. Oh my god, ecchi. Oh my god, friendship. Oh my god, fun. Oh my god, singing. Oh my god, situations that really don't affect anything in the long run. Oh what, this is not going to affect the characters in any real way, not affect the story in any real way. It's just going to happen and then it's just going to be forgotten as if it never happened. Oh my god, this is so totally Shakespearean level quality of ultra mega proportions. I like how the story doesn't really go anywhere. I like how nothing impactful is happening. I like them boobies. I like how everything is puffy wuffy, happy wappy with a derpy pie on top. Wait, what's that? That giant, deadly, and highly lethal demon from last season? The same demon that shook things up a bit and introduced a real threat to everyone and made things interesting, only to be defeated and was forgotten ever since? That sort of thing doesn't really happen in Season 2? Who cares? More boobs. But yeah, in all seriousness, what is there to the story that was actually relevant? The answer? Not much, really. Now, I mentioned that everything feels less like a continuation and more like filler. That's pretty much what it is. You know, the characters do stuff, they get naked. The story just has these characters fuck around. It's like, okay, let's have action and then ecchi in every episode. Okay, it's action, ecchi, some development. She will never give up. Okay, let's go back to action. And the scenarios they set up in almost every episode just feel like excuses to have just that. You have an episode where the girls wear bikinis, you have your mystery episode, you have an episode where almost all the characters become little kids, you have your body switching episode, among other stuff that happens, and of course, each ends with a resolve that puts things right. In a way, a lot of this feels like something that you would normally expect in your average filler episode, filling the runtime and to give these characters stuff to do, even if the stuff they do don't do anything in the long run. And that right there is the show's biggest problem. Everything becomes so routine and so expected that really, there are times where I just wanted to fall the fuck asleep. There's barely anything that shakes the story up. It's action, ecchi, half-baked character development, action, ecchi, it just keeps going and going. It just keeps going and going until it ends. No new direction is taken, there's no unexpected twist. It just does stuff. And that's pretty much it. They just do stuff and the characters go on about how it was all fun and stuff. Oh yeah, Dog Days, oh man, I am so hooked in your story. Oh man, I want more. I want more. You know, I criticized the first season for being unfocused. I'll give Season 2 this, it's more focused this time around. But that doesn't mean it's better. If anything, it kinda makes it worse. Because it goes for one direction, but the direction it took was so bland and so repetitive to the point where I just was so glad that it was over. Hell, the only reason why I decided to stick around was because I spent too much time watching it, that if I were to stop, all that time wasted. Overall, the story sucks, but that's because the story is irrelevant. Now let's move on to the characters. What is there to the characters? Hold on, let me think. Well, I'll tell you this. They think everything is fun. In fact, they have so much fun that even in the face of not so certain doom, they still say, well, that was fun. What else? Oh yeah, Eclair loves Senkyu, cause I couldn't figure that one out before. And I like how they use this to set up a love triangle, except they don't set up a love triangle. Senkyu likes Millie, Eclair likes Senkyu. Who cares? Let's have one of them get naked. Oh, and if you thought Eclair never gave up, oh, don't worry, she never gives up even more! She will go down as one of the greatest anime characters of all time. What else? Oh yeah, they introduced this Demon King who likes to spy on and harass women. Because sexual harassment is funny. Oh, then you have this Hero King who's not actually a dude, but is actually a hot chick. And no doubt makes for some excellent Rule 34 material. Oh yeah, and here's the thing. Both the Hero King and the Demon King have a relationship of a married couple with issues. And I just explained the most interesting thing about the characters as a whole. What? Yeah, the characters remain relatively unchanged, while the new characters aren't all that interesting either. With the exception of these two, though it's mainly because of their relationship, and not because of their personalities. Sin-Q is still a Gary Stu type character who lacks traits that resemble an actual human being. Millie is a girly princess. Rikota is a lolly. Eclair never gives up. Leo is really hot. Gall is as brash as ever, who knew? Oh, and those other characters, who cares? Jiggle. And besides the Demon King and the Hero King, Nanami is a tomboy and is highly athletic. So athletic that she's the one who beat Sin-Q in the athletic competition in the past. I never knew she would play as a rival character, but not quite. This Squirrel Girl is the princess of pastelage and loves to get pet by Rebecca. Oh yeah, and she's also a lolly, so that means 2 lollies! Yay! Oh, the other characters, who's this dude again? Okay, if you couldn't tell before, I'm not really excited when talking about the characters in this show. They're bland, unmemorable. You don't really care about them. What personalities do these characters have that I cannot sum up in a single sentence? Yeah, you can make an exception for Leo, but I already explained her character in my Dog Days review. And wait a minute, what does Leo actually do here? She walks, talks, fight, walks, talks, fight? Oh my god, they drained the personality out of her! Okay, scratch that previous comment I made about the characters being unchanged. Yes, thanks to the direction, since there's no looming threat upon any of the characters like in the first season, Leo's been reduced into a stock warrior Nekomimi character who's there because, hey, she's a part of the main cast. She's the leader of the Galette Lion army, and, let's just have her do stuff. You know, like all the other characters. So yeah, any pre-existing characters remain relatively the same with the exception of Leo, but that's because her role in the last season does not apply here. So yeah, thanks Dog Days. Thank you for taking a direction that made the most interesting character from the last season into just another stock character who's just there. These are some fine characters. These are some really good characters. Now here's where I go into presentation, but you know what? Just refer to my Dog Days review, cause, you know, the presentation for the most part is kind of the same deal here. The fantasy aesthetic is still the same, except that there are some upgrades here and there, especially when it's in action mode. But at the same time, there is some downgrades, albeit subtle downgrades. I noticed more off-modeling, and the environments lacked the punch the first season had. This is especially apparent when Millie has her concerts, and looks less impressive than they were in the first season. The voice acting is of the same quality for the most part. The music still isn't all that good, though this is mainly because they reused tracks from the first season. And I couldn't tell you if they added new tracks or not because really, I don't care about the music. But overall, the presentation is still above average and is the best thing I could say about this show. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the presentation. Bottom line, depending on perspective, you could find this to be better than the first season, equal to the first season, or worse than the first season. Opinions are opinions after all, and personally, I think this show ended up being worse. Which sucks because I had my jaw drop when this began. I thought it was ridiculous and exciting at first. But as it went on, the effect wore off, and what I was left with was a bland mess of something that was already bland to begin with. If it actually did something for a change, it could have kept my interest and received a higher score. In the end though, I give it a 1.5 out of 5. Was a second season of Dog Days even necessary? Oh, okay, apparently it was.